So here we are, folks, with the last round in the October Wixoss Ceremony hosted by Carta Magica. We've got a mirror match for our finals today. We've got two Tamago centers. I believe they're running the same assists too. It's basically a mirror match. Yeah, this is basically a mirror match in terms of Bloreg decks, with a couple changes in between here and there. But what matters is this is the finals. Which Tamago player is going to come out victorious? We've both seen both of these players on stream. We've seen one hell of a comeback from Alexander last round. So you see the opening Heket looked like everything went to bottom minus maybe one card. Folklore coming out to get the draw and discard. Going ahead, start the discard train early as possible. Another Heket seems to be the standard opening for the Tamago decks we've seen today. Double Heket or at least a single Heket, if possible. Looks like leaving everything on top. Growing to Madoka, getting the discard, and basically getting whatever he actually needs for that moment. Intercharging Heket here. Growing to Tamago 1. We're going to see a lot of I'm feeling we're going to see a lot of mirrored play here in terms of the order everybody does their actions in. Heket down center. One on top, two on bottom. Here comes a random drain. Returning the favor. Wing slash. Either one is fine. Doesn't matter which one's picked. But that one will go. Returning a Heket to hand. Double Heket opener from Alexander as well. Like, no attack phase triggers, obviously. We're going to see a Phalaris. And we're going to see Neon Tetra. Neon Tetra is going to freeze the Heket that's in one of the open slots. In the left open slot for Scobinks. Bruno Center, and Folklore. So Bruno's going to get some more discards in. Discarding Zirconium Burst, Larig Attack, Servant for the Guard, 5/5 Life Cloth, Cat unfrozen but still downed. Noka Float coming out for Alexander, getting his draw 3 now. Both players now having access to their level 2 assists. Bruno down center. Like I said, we're going to see a lot of mirrored movement, but we get a Neon Tetra here, freezing the Focalor. And putting a Bradamante on the... a Bradamante trigger on the Focalor, forcing a Vanish on it and a discard. Discarding Neon Tetra off of the Bruno swing. Bruno bye-bye. Servant happens, and Folklore vanished, and a forced discard. 1 card in hand for Skobinks versus the 3 remaining in hand for Alexander. Still both at 5 life cloth each. Skobinks going to have the first crack at level 3. To maybe try and even the playing field a little bit, if not push things in his favor. We're going to see Summer Life Blues already. Bottom decking, I'm going to assume maybe the Bruno. Yep, Bruno is going to be bottom decked off of the Summer Life Blues here. Random drain for a discard and a filter in hand. Probably debating on what to do here. I'm going to use the Tamago once per game already. Both players will draw 2. However, Alexander will discard 2 at random here. Getting a Servant and an Ana Barrage. This has definitely been the stream for random discards grabbing the Servants out of any player's hands. I've kind of enjoyed it, not gonna lie. It's always fun to see a random discard rip a Servant out of someone's hand. Modem! That's a spicy meatball. That's a spicy tech. I have not seen Modem played all day today. And great way to actually finally see it played. So you can remove 2 spells from trash. From your trash from the game. Remove 2 spells from trash to game. I can't speak. Remove 2 spells in your trash from the game to give -3k for each spell removed this way at the beginning of your attack phase. And whenever you use a spell, you mill your opponent to. Now, this is actually very fancy in an all spells deck, or a majority spells deck. But being able to just remove spells from the game at the beginning of the attack phase to just help clear lanes. It's a very interesting tech here. I really enjoy that kind of tech here. So Bruno discard, Folklore. The one time out of all the ceremonies so far, I have seen Folklore actually land the double whammy. And being able to down two things in one go. It's not going to matter for the Neon Tetra. The Neon Tetra's frozen in front of the Bradamante, but it's still, is that double servants ripped out? Oh man, gripping double servant. Oh baby. So you already see a very commanding lead for Scobings here. 2 cards in hand for... from the draw. 3 in hand for Scobings, looks like. If Alexander does decide to use his once per game here, we'll command it down to 1 at least for the once per game. The real question is, will we actually end up seeing the once per game, though? I don't recall him using it the last game. I could be mistaken. He might have used it the last game, or using a dice to mark how many are still under Tamago. But we're going to see the Summer Live Blues return special, returning the favor, probably going to bottom deck the modem in this case. I would bottom deck the modem just because it's able to clear the field. I wouldn't much care about the Bruno that's in center. The modem is what I would deem the threat, so I do see that the modem is indeed the one that does get bottomed here. Dark Energy played out, does get rid of the Bruno, get the free enter charge off of it, Imp and Chibi Zirconium. So time to really see what can happen here. So now there is enough enter for Scobinks to be able to use Madoka Float here. I do believe he does have the hand to be able to do a two-stop involving the Dark Energy and the Imp just to save 2 damage. But the real question is, would he actually want to do it and instead save his 2 for... Oh no, sorry, he's going to end up doing Machina Smash. Smash will grow, we'll get the Ana Mirage. Sayonara, Chibi Zirconium, that's 1 damage prevented at least. Dark Energy, vanishing the Bradamante, Imp swinging in face. Folklore is going to see play again, but this time just for the draw. We're not going to get to see any kind of down. Tamago is going to use the on attack ability for a discard 6. For a discard on 6. So we'll see the Neon Tetra get ripped out of hand, and the question is, do we see the servant? No servant here. So the Chibi Zirconium again. Back to the return. Both assists still available for Alexander here. And enough enter to use both if absolutely necessary. Buckler will be enter charged here. Random drain, getting rid of a card in hand. probably the only card in hand to get rid of, which explains a lot. So this does leave Alexander in a bit of a high and dry situation in terms of actually, well, having to actually use the Tamago once per game next turn if he wants to have some kind of hand to be able to play, depending on what's done here. So we'll see Phalaris come out, force a mill. I do believe a mill at this point would probably leave about like 4 cards in deck for Alexander. I haven't been really keeping track of the count. So Zirconium, this Zirconium coming in down because it does not have the ability to actually pay for the harmony cost of this Zirconium. It's a bit unfortunate, but all the enter abilities and everything else do happen, but you can just rise over with Ana Mirage. Ana Mirage going to get rid of the Imp down the center and a Bradamante for safe measure. Not that it matters in this sense, but because Phalaris in this situation does want to get the Vanish to do the mill. Unless he's just putting Phalaris out here to threaten or to bait out a early or any of the assists, if not all of the assists. Like we'll be proceeding to attacks here. Alexander trying to determine what he wants to do here. So we'll see the Grow to Madoka Clap, paying out all of the enter he has available to down 2 targets. We see the down on Phalaris and the down on Ana Mirage. See Bradamante swing, random drain's going to hit. A random drain out of hand. And Phalaris will be frozen. Lorig attack. No hand to even remotely think about having a servant. And so far, this seems to be very, very much in Scoping's favor. Dark Energy being forced to be Enercharged from the Bradamante trigger. Very interesting call by Alex to get the Phalaris, to down the Phalaris to prevent the mill 10. Instead, just not taking any damage that turn. Definitely seeing he has a healthy enough deck to not have cared about the mill 10. There's more than 10 cards in it, definitely. Because I can see 5 there, 3 in hand, just drew 2, and I can see the shadow of cards under that 5th card in his deck. So definitely wouldn't have had to care much about the mill. He might have been in a little bit of a dire strait if he took the mill, so I can understand wanting to down the Phalaris. But either way, he'd be taking that damage. I guess just wanting to actually be able to use the burst in the case that he wasn't able to. Just in the case he wasn't able to actually guarantee more than 12 cards in deck in consideration. So the Tamago once per game being used. Scoping's having a 4-card hand here. 2 being having to get discarded at this point. We'll see if the random continues. Or if the random discard continues, do we see a servant on this discard, or do we not? And I see a servant. Still continues. Random discards, always getting the servants every single time. see a Zirconium here, getting the actual full value, being able to keep it up as well as anything else that it has to offer. So it actually can work as an attacker here. And then Bruno down center. Probably try to rip the last couple cards out of hand if possible. 2 cards left in hand. It's definitely an easy 2-rip. You already know the Madoka does not need to be, cannot be used here. Just to be able to grow Madoka, it already costs 2 enter and only have 1 remaining enter. So we see the Xenocluster. The Xenocluster getting the draw 3 off of all the discarding that's happened so far. Zirconium getting rid of Phalaris. And the Bradamante in one fell swoop. Bruno opting to draw a card, knowing that he can't rip all the cards out of his opponent's hand. Respectable decision. Burst. Zirconium. Tamago is going to activate. Random discard. Here we go. Do we see the Servant ripped? I think we've seen all the Servants at this point for Scobinks, but I could be wrong. I am wrong. Oh, baby. Servant rip the game. Folklore is going to get a draw card again. This has definitely been a very back and forth battle between these two players. One still having Madoka Clap available, the other one only having Madoka's Machina Smash in this situation. The Zirconium getting their discard out. Dark Energy being discarded out. Freezing the opposing Zirconium. Chibi Zirconium grow into on a Mirage, completely getting rid of that Zirconium. Bit of a pickle here. So that's one open lane for both players right now, but it's still being Scobink's turn. That last hole can be filled. Can't be the Bruno due to limit size. Only have a limit of 7 to work with, so it has to be a level 1 here, and it's going to be Haket. Look at the last card in deck. like we're going to attacks here. We're going to see either the remaining piece or the Machina assist. We're going to see Machina smash here. Goodbye Zirconium. Still leaving an open lane available for damage, which is weird. But we're going to see MGD as well. So Focalor is going to get the draw. And then Tamago is just going to rip that card out of hand anyways, saying, nah, you can't have this. Now it is back to the opposing Tamago. It could be anybody's game at this point. However, it is true that Scobing still has access to his last assist here, Madoka Clap. The only issue that's here, in the sense, is that last card in deck. Still 2 cards in hand. If Alex can find a way to get rid of that last card out of Scobinx's deck, this can almost be a sure win for Alex. But it looks like, according to the pixels I see, that is a Bradamante discarded. Still don't know what that last card in hand is for Scobinx. The real question is, what is... Oh, there's the Bruno. There's an Imp. So Madoka is going to down the Imp, or down, not the Imp, the Haket in the open lane. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. So there's no chance of... There is no chance of Scobinx dying here. Bradamante Burst. Only get to draw 1 card here. And it's basically gotta matter. It has to count here. There's 1 card left in hand for Alexander. This could very well be the last turn. And depending on what that last card is, it actually isn't going to matter. Game goes to Scobinx. Completely forgot about the last card under the Tamago. Still a fantastic game to watch between these two. And with that being said, that also concludes today's wonderful events. Congratulations to Scobinx for coming out on top for today's ceremony. And good run, Alex, especially that round 6. It was very entertaining to watch. Once again, guys, I've been your host, Hellfire. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to check me out on social media, Fire Pit TCGs. Don't forget to follow Carta Magica's Twitch channel for updates whenever they do stream their card game events. They do more than just Wixoss. If you play Digimon or Flesh and Blood and stuff like that, they do stream for those as well. Or just for updates when the next ceremony stream is. And with that being said, y'all have a wonderful rest of the day, and once again, congratulations, Scobinx, on your victory.